Hello. Okay, so for this hill walk today with the Caledonian Hill Walking Club, it's the 15th of February 2026, and we're just starting off from that part there where the car park is to the beach. We've just come off the A92 just on the outskirts of Montrose, and we're heading up to Inverbervie, and this is the route that we're going to take. So I'm going to take footage throughout, just various footage throughout, and take some pictures as well and put it on the video. So this is the February the 15th. We tend to go to places where there isn't so much snow on these ones. So I'm with a faster group today, so I'm going to have to put the foot down and catch up. So I'll just get as much videos as I can whilst I could on this walk. So it's a wee bit harder today. I was working late shift. I only got about 3 hours sleep, so I'm not really that well awake. And it's cold. And in a faster group because the other ones it was easier going on this group. So I'll do what I can anyway as far as getting footage goes. So it's Montrose to Inverbervie, and it is on the kind of like the east side of it's not quite on the beach, but it's still on the east coast. I think the other group's doing the beach, but I'm not sure just how much of it this group's doing. But I'll get as much footage as I can anyway. So I was in a bit of a rush. This morning. I didn't really get a lot of time for a decent coffee, so I'm still kind of waking up a bit. We'll see how it goes. So as I say, that's the A92, and that bus there is just that's heading in the north direction. It's just a stone throw off the A92. And Montrose is just down that road a bit, maybe about a mile down there. So you can see the two viaduct bridges, the road bridge on the left, and you've got the footbridge that we're going to be walking across, and I think there's a rail bridge somewhere about, possibly further to the right. That's going over the North Esk River. So the railway line, I'm not actually sure if it crosses over this part, or maybe perhaps it's further over inland. I'm actually beginning to wonder if this bridge was an old railway line at one time. So there's a wee highlight for the hike, for this hike. So I'm not sure if this used to be part of an old railway line or what, I don't know. But we're certainly continuing along, heading north up it anyway. And we're looking at the tightness of this bend. I don't think this would be ideal for a railway line. Certainly not this specific part anyway. So it looks as though it's just looping round and heading back onto the main road. So from here, we get a better view of the bridge that we just walked across. So we're going to basically be turning left down that road. There's a nice view of both bridges now. Probably built about the same age, I guess, judging by the look of them. It certainly does. Bit of the caravanning. Yeah, I'll get a wee bit of that over as well. We'll get a view of the bridges. So we're just going along the road now, and we'll have to climb a couple of fences to avoid a waterlogged road. That was fun and games. Barbed wire fence, but we got through it, and then got through the second one as well to continue along this road. It's just due to the flooding, but you can certainly see the fields are quite heavily waterlogged in some places.
Surprisingly green, isn't it?
Oh, it's a car coming. So that's another wee highlight for the hike as well. Didn't expect to see that. Some horses coming over to, oh, car coming. Busy road. Yeah, so. Oh, wow, check this, it's going through the ice. Yeah, see how fast it was running there. It's clanking through there. I'll make it famous, put it online. Jeez, I look at the reflection of the birds off the. Aye. There you go. Ah, yeah, I managed to get it this time. Pretty powerful. Pretty lively things, isn't it? Yeah. Get them running side view as well.
Did you get a close up?
Yeah, luckily I managed to catch that, yeah, on camera. Yeah, I was able to capture that moment there as we were running through the icy puddle. Nothing to these animals, are quite strong, powerful. Oh, they're mingling with the sheep as well. Yeah, quite powerful and energetic animals, the horses. Honestly, I just ran through that water like it was nothing. It was icy deep water. You heard it cracking through the ice. You know, there's sheep on the move now as well. See if we could capture a bit of that for you. I'll stop running now, but there we go. Talking to running, I better get moving because I'm starting to fall behind a bit. Got a wee bit of nature there, eh? You can hear them galloping again. Burning off some energy, I think. It's a Steptoes yard. I like the coffee idea anyway. It's nice and bright over there. Nice vast open space, and just beyond that will be the North Sea. You can hear the North Sea from here. Alright, I don't know if the camera's picking up, but I can certainly hear the waves. Which is quite unusual actually, because there isn't any wind at all. There is absolutely no wind, and yet I could hear the roar off the North Sea. The waves and that, which is just over that horizon. Yeah, I noticed this before when it... Oh, car. No, they're too far ahead. But, car! Car, come on! That's what we do, we just warn the fellow hikers up ahead if there's a car approaching from behind that there's a car coming up, because it's just that's what we do, is it? It's just what we do as hikers. So, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm going to just change my arm a minute. My right arm's getting a bit sore holding this camera phone like this. I don't have my selfie stick. I don't normally take them on a hike, but I'll change my hand over. Ah, that's a bit better. Yeah, I was saying I was on the Arbroath cliff hilltop walk. There's like a path going along the cliff tops at Arbroath. So it was the waves were just crashing off the coast. It was so much so there was actually spray coming off the, it was forming a mist. No, it was very, very strong, the waves, they were powerful, and the strange thing was, is there wasn't any wind that I found pretty bizarre. There was no wind at all, but yet the waves were crashing off the cliffs and that. Now I've got footage of this. So my experiences have been to coast or cliffs and that, when there's a strong wind you'll get the strong waves. But I've never experienced seeing very, very strong waves like that, and absolutely no wind at all whatsoever. So I logged that in and made a separate file for that, and I also put it on my videos called Quest, the Quest series of videos that I do. And that's usually just highlighting stuff that I find pretty bizarre, because I thought that was quite odd, so I done a video about it. But yeah, I mean, it must be quite a few metres away from probably half a mile away from the North Sea, and yet I could still hear the roaring waves. And as you could hear this and see, there is no wind. The grass isn't moving, there's no wind blowing through the microphone, there's no wind at all here. And yet the waves are just coming up in the bus as well, along the A92. I was able to see the winds, see the waves. The waves are massive. They were like a very choppy North Sea, but no wind. Anyway, that's just an observation made, so just thought I'd put it on this video for reference, so I could even reference back to it at some point in the future. So these videos are for you as well to watch, but it's also as a time sort of file for myself as well, because I can look back on them at any time really. So it's kind of like a log of what I do, but obviously more than welcome for everybody else to watch. So just heading up here now. So some more horses in there. Aye. So I heard them shouting coffee time, which is nice to hear. Get another coffee down us, waking us up a bit more. Considering I only got about 3 hours, three and a half hours sleep. That's what it's like when you work shifts before a hike. I work late shifts all the time. I drive buses, late shifts permanently, so I don't get an awful lot of sleep before a hike. I've been working the night before. So yeah, I could definitely do with the coffee right now. I think that's what they're planning on doing, stopping up just over there for a tea break, coffee break sort of thing. I've got my flask with us, so this will be like the car park for this area. St Cyrus Nature Reserve, National Nature Reserve. And then that's the St Cyrus Visitor Centre that we're stopping at. So it's useful to know that there's a nice sort of visitor centre, cafe, car parking area at this specific place, so you could visit it fairly easily by a car. So it's a perfect opportunity to get the toilet as well. So, coffee. Well, that's just back on the move again. We're just heading up this way now. And we're just leaving the visitor centre. Oh, so we are going back this way after all. I thought we were heading up that way, but we're deciding to go down the other way, which is towards the nature reserve. So, you got one of these counter things as well. No, I was just mentioning the counter there because there's as we walked through that, we were being counted. Oh, it's not very. Yeah, so they're obviously monitoring the number of people that pass through the points. There's 2 sensors on the posts back there, one on each side, so presumably when you break the beam, it will register as a blip or a break in the circuit, and it will count the number of times that happens to count the number of presumably people using it. So why they do that? Probably just for monitoring sensors, that kind of thing. But I've noticed these sort of outdoor sensors in other places as well, around about the country, on the entrances to paths and that, and popular hill walking routes. You see these sensor counter things. It must just be like a wave or a beam of some sort, or I don't know how it works. There must be, I don't know if it's photos, light cells, or a radio beam, or I'm not quite sure how they work. But when you break through that, when you're passing by it, must send the binary count to the counter to log in the number of people that use the path. Oh yeah. So, but we're not off the beaten track a wee bit, kind of like just heading towards the coast. I think there's some cliffs as well that we're going to be going by, and I'll try and get some footage of those for you. So if I could, I'll try and get some footage for you of the cliffs, but apparently we're going to be doing a wee bit of uphill climbing as well. So let's see how that goes. So the land's a bit waterlogged over there on the right. I think that's just due to rain flooding. And you can quite clearly see the coastline cliffs just up ahead and also on the left as well. So, but at some stage we're going to be climbing up these up the cliffs. So yeah, there's going to be a bit of rather steep climbing with this hike as well. So even though it's a coastal hike, there's still going to be a bit of climbing involved. i.e. going up these cliffs. So see how that goes. I'm going to point it that way anyway. So the other hazard as well with climbing up steep cliffs and steep land like that is with the amount of rain we've had recently, the ground's going to be rather slippery. So that'll pose a bit of a challenge as well. So see how that goes anyway. It's muddy down here. I mean, it's going to be pretty quite tricky going up there, but see what happens anyway. See how it goes. So as you can see, it's a bit muddy, like it's slippery. See how it goes anyway. We'll be alright when we get up there, we'll get a better view I suppose, but it's just getting up there and just beginning to wonder what it's going to be like, how hard it's going to be. It's just be the wet ground as well, it makes it kind of more of a challenge like. Anyway, just keep going, just keep going. Onwards and upwards, as the saying goes. So I've already got a wet foot from the huffle we had earlier getting over these two fences. The road was just waterlogged. Had to walk along the side. The water was quite deep. My left foot got soaking. So I had to climb over two fences, one of which was barbed wire. That was... we got over eventually, like. Did you see the wee cottage there? I couldn't go up to it, but there was a wee stone cottage back there. See, I've had time I would have went over, but I've got to keep up because, as I say, this is a slightly faster group. So, but yeah, left foot's soaking. Anyway, it's kind of brightening up a bit over there, right? So sort of. It's a wee bit better underfoot as well here. We're kind of like getting closer to the North Sea. And you can see the sand on the underfoot, on the ground here. Getting closer to the beach, which is what I like. I like the beach. So far I've not even seen the beach yet. It's just all been inland. It would be nice to see a wee bit of the beach as well. Anyway, just keep on heading on, pressing on. See, it's a wee bit better underfoot here though. I could definitely hear these waves roaring off the coast. I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but I could certainly hear them. So I don't know what it's, I don't know why it is, but when they get closer to the beach, the air just seems to be, I don't know, it feels better, I feel fresher. I know that the sea, I think, gives off ozone, which has that kind of effect, I think. It may do anyway. But the ozone comes off the salt water of the sea. There's some chemical reaction or something, and I'm not sure all the ins and outs of it, but I did remember hearing this. There's the sea gives off like an ozone gas, which might have that effect, that feeling of freshness, I don't know. But I've noticed anyway when I go to the beach, it just feels sort of, I don't know, fresher, feel better as well. So it may be the ozone that causes that and other things as well. But yeah, I've always liked the beach. So, and I think we're getting closer to it. So I'll try and get some footage of it if we actually do get some views of it, because we're just a stone throw from it. I could hear the water just over there. You can also see up ahead as well the slight haze of the mist coming off the water due to the strong waves. But what's odd is that there's no wind. There's no land wind anyway. So I've just noticed this phenomenon very recently, hence why I'm mentioning it. It seems odd to me anyway. That you have such a strong waves but no wind. Just find that peculiar. But I've noticed this before at Arbroath, as I mentioned earlier, at the Arbroath Cliffs. So you've got this cottage here, just on its own here, in a bit of a semi-restoration job. I don't know if they're doing it up or what, but probably asbestos roofing there on that one, though judging by the material. But you've got this old, there's some more up ahead as well, these it's even got it, asbestos roof. But yeah, there's some more up there a bit as well. Yeah, I kind of like that idea actually. It's quite nice. Wouldn't be very accessible, of course, by vehicle, but unless it was a beach buggy or a 4x4. But yeah, even a bit of blue sky coming through as well. I kind of like that. I do like the thought of that. Having a lovely cottage here on the coast, just having massive windows and sit and have a meal, have a lovely coast to look at on a nice day. Of course, this is on the nice side of it, but when it's really windy and the weather takes a turn for the worse, then it may not be quite so much fun. But that's all it is. Now we're getting a nice view of the coast. Actually, before I do, I'm just going to show you a wee bit more of this building. It's obviously closed off at the moment. Probably, possibly a boathouse or something. So the hike's there, the path's here, but I'm just going to go off route. I just can't resist anymore. It's only just up here. I just want to at least see the sea. See the sea. So there, finally. I don't know when we were going to actually get to it, but so look how rough that water is, and look at the blades of grass. There's no movement, no wind, and yet look how rough that water is. So much so it's actually created a mist. Very rough, very choppy. See that? But no wind at all. So just logging that in as well for my own record, so I could refer back to it also, because I do like to make a log. Even though this is a YouTube video, I'm still going to make a log for myself anyway that I could refer back to. So the date's 15th of February 2026, en route between Montrose and Inverbervie. It's just going on 10 past 11 in the morning. And just putting that wee observation in, just as a wee footnote. I'm just going to piggyback it onto this YouTube video. I'm not doing any harm doing that, so I could refer back to this as well. So I usually do a separate video for my own records, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be digging through my bag just to get my other phone for that. So I'm just going to have to just simply do it on this video. There's no any harm in putting this on a YouTube video as well. So that's the date, the place, and the subject. I find it bizarre, and I noticed this before at Arbroath, at the Arbroath Cliffs, the cliff top walk. I mean, I've been to the coast so many times in my life, but I've never saw such bizarreness where the water is so choppy and there isn't any wind to accompany it. I'd expect to see that if it was really windy here, or because there's no wind, I would expect to see the water a lot calmer than that. So anyway, just a wee log. It might be a wee bit off subject, but I'm just simply going to add it on to this video anyway, so I could refer back to it myself at a later date. Now we better catch up because I'm kind of lagging behind a wee bit here. So there's another one of these cottages on the coast. So we're getting a view of the water. I'll show this as well. It's for quite a while, and it's aye, an oil rig or something. Yeah, I'll see if I can zoom in. I could. Oh yeah, that lighthouse.
That's Gourdon, yeah.
Ah.
Montrose is back from that.
Gosh, we've walked all that already.
Montrose is...
Nah, surely not.
Yeah,
I think I could actually see the Montrose steeple from here.
It is, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
we're
it's
not into it.
no. There's. I check it. Actually, if I could zoom in now, I could see the steeple. Where the hell is it now on the camera? Ah, right there it is. There it is. That's Montrose steeple. And then you've got the lighthouse there in the distance. But just as I say, as I was saying earlier, this water is really, really choppy for such a lack of wind. I find that really bizarre. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to go a wee bit nearer to the water while the group are up there having a look at the sights. I'm going to very quickly go over. So, got a wee bit more of a closer view of the beach, with the shoreline with the water. And these waves are pretty strong, as I keep saying, because I'm just quite amazed actually it's how strong and actually witnessing this, and at the same time witnessing no wind whatsoever. As you can see, there's no movement on the grass or anything. The waves are so strong it's creating a haze. I mean, these waves are massive. And I've been to many beaches before, including this one at some point, and I've never seen this before, this phenomenon. So, as I say, it's just worth logging it in anyway. So I know the beach might not appeal to many people in the middle of winter, February, but I like it. Even though it's freezing cold, I still like the sightseeing and the fresh air and that just vast openness. I just feel better, you know, just it's psychological as well, I suppose, when you're just, you know, the views and the openness and the, as I say, the ozone that comes off the sea, off the salt water. There's some kind of, I don't know how the chemical release happens, if it's something to do with the way the sunlight, the atmosphere reacts with the seawater. But I do remember hearing it anyway, that there is ozone that comes off the seawater, and I believe it makes it, some of the symptoms, it makes you feel fresher, I think. I don't know, but I certainly do know that I feel fresher when I come to the beach, and that may be one of the reasons. I might look into it more, but I heard about this ages ago, decades ago. But yeah, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, it's still lovely to go to the beach. Just won't be swimming though, that's all. So there's a lovely picture spot there with a wee bit of the sun. It's an unusual sun as well, by the way, because it's kind of like a whitish blue colour. Now, this is a phenomenon that I've noticed in the last few years. The sun is appearing more white, in some cases even blue, as opposed to just being the nice warm yellow golden sun that I remember from the, well, since I grew up, 70s, 80s, 90s and early 2000s. I was around about the later part of 2010s, the 2018, 2017, maybe a wee bit before, I've been noticing a kind of difference in the sun has been a whiter, hotter, nippier like feel, as opposed to the yellow, warm, golden, comfortable feeling sun that we used to get. But this has definitely got more of an ultraviolet blue to it. And I've noticed this before at other places as well, and I'm certainly noticing it today. It's particularly, it's different, but that's my observations anyway. I definitely notice a difference, otherwise I wouldn't be mentioning it. And it's within the last few years I've noticed this. 2018 was a big changing point. The later part of 2017 was a big changing point in the weather phenomena and that. But it's still spectacular anyway, looking at this. Looks as though we're going to be stopping here, I hope. We get a wee bite or something, a wee bite to eat. So this is the path we're going to be going up to get to the cliff top. Get that on there. Good photo for the Hill Walking Club. Well, the weather's actually turned out rather well. So to think inland, you go further west inland, there's actually quite a lot of snow. So I mean, you wouldn't think it, when you come here it's sunny, there's no snow at all. In fact, I'm amazed at how good the weather's actually been today. Certainly ain't complaining, lovely day. But yeah, you wouldn't think there was just a few miles west there's a lot of deep snow inland and on the hilltops as well. Another strange phenomena as well was that the Sidlaw Hills, Craiggibble was the only hill that had snow on it. The other hills in the Sidlaw Hill range didn't have any snow on it at one time. In fact, I walked up to the top of Craiggibble, there's about 6 inches deep of snow. The following day, less than 24 hours later, all the snow was gone off of Craiggibble, because I saw it on the motorway when I was going along the A90 up to my mate's house in Bankery. I spotted it, I said, good grief, all the snow's gone. And the temperature hasn't changed much. It's only less than 24 hours later. Still, 3.5, 4 degrees. The same as it was the previous day when there was snow in Craiggibble. And then the following day there was none. And get this, the day after that, on the 6th of February, you guessed it, there was snow in Craiggibble again. And the temperature remained roughly about the same as it was since the first time I went up. I found that pretty bizarre. But anyway, it's like micro weathers. Well, I've already noted it down, I've made a wee video on it on my Quest series of videos on my YouTube channel. So if you've got any of my Quest series of videos, it's about stuff I find strange, and I put it in Quest for explanation, so I just call the video series Quest. So season 2 episode 4 I think it was. Done a few seasons of it, well, a couple of seasons. 2 or 3 seasons. I've got that many videos and series. But if you just type in Quest on my channel, you should come up with them. So just turning the camera over towards where we were walking from. It's quite spectacular. But yeah, going back to the waves. I mean, yeah, there's always waves in the sea, even when it's very calm. I knew that. I've experienced that. But not like this. I mean, these waves are just too strong for the lack of, well, the absence of any wind at all, really. It just seems unproportionally strong for it. You see, you can actually hear the birds singing over there because it's so calm. You can hear a pin drop because there's no wind. But yet the waves are so strong in comparison. I mean, that's just a very, very gentle breeze now. But that's nothing. It just does not seem to add up, in my opinion, that the waves should be as strong as that for the absence of very little wind. Quite unusual plants on the side of the cliff there. That's the bridge we're going to be going over. Get over this wee obstacle. That's a lovely wee spot, that. Picture of that. So this is just taken from the bridge. That wee footbridge. So we're heading up here now. Let's carry on. Keep up with them. A bit muddy here though. I'm not quite sure what this ruin is, this structure. Not sure what it is, but it looks pretty ancient anyway, so I clocked in some footage with it. Stick that in the video as well for you. So I do like that, actually, that setup, the cottage there on the just on the coast edge there. As long as it doesn't get washed away or eroded or anything like that, it's quite nice. I quite like it. I kind of fancy that. Yeah, I do like that, you see. It's really smart. Very nice, actually. Yeah, definitely appealing. I've always used to think of these things when even when I first started learning how to draw technical drawing at school when I was in first year. I used to draw pictures of buildings and imaginary places like this, you know, cottage with big windows. Got to have big windows, mind, for that view. Nice table with a eat a meal on it and enjoy the view. On a lovely coastal area like this. Watch what I'm doing here. So this is a wee bit precarious. So yeah, I was getting selfie with that in the background. It's it's sort of like a dream cottage. As I say, I used to draw these things or stuff like that kind of idea. When I first started learning how to draw three-dimensional technical drawing. I used to spend ages on blank sheets of A4 and ruler and pen and sketch drawings of big buildings, well, not big buildings but cottages like such in a lovely area like this, and tried to sketch it. And yeah, it's definitely appealing though. I do have a sort of a like for that sort of thing. It just seems to be, just sort of feels good, right? It's what I would like to own one day. I'm probably never going to own it, but it's a nice sort of area. Even if it was a holiday house or a B&B or something, spend a few nights in it and just in this kind of location. It's lovely. That's a prime example anyway. And just seeing the slipway going down into the water, the slipway for the boats. It's also what I used to do when I was at art and design at school. I used to actually draw stuff like this, or somewhere anyway. But me being me, of course, I'd have probably drew, in fact I did, I drew a chemical factory and all sorts of other like buses as well, because I've got like an interest in that, and those I remember will remember that I had always been interested in that sort of stuff. Big industrial complexes as well, kind of fascinated in that, so I drew that into the other pictures also. So those that remember me from these days will remember that. Still got some of these old drawings from back then, from some 34 years ago, 35 years ago, when I was at the school. I've got them stored away somewhere, but yeah, that kind of, I was always interested in that sort of thing anyway, ever since it was as far back as I could remember. I think partly because my dad worked in the industrial estate and he was an electrical engineer, electrician, and he used to take us into the factory when I was just a toddler, and I remember it, and I was fascinated in the machinery and all that, and I think that's where I grew my interest from. So I used to draw that. I used to visit places like that through the years as well. It's just what I like though. Lovely setting and all that, and then a nice big industrial chemical factory just up the road a bit. Some interesting buses as well. Still have these drawings that I'll probably have a look at them at some time. Might show you them if I find them. Anyway, let's continue on. So yeah, I also visited all the EDF Energy and nuclear power stations in Britain. All 8 of them, EDF Energy, throughout the years. Got a visit inside them as well, but you've got to obviously, hang on a minute. Car! Yeah, just shouting car. So yeah, so as I was saying, I visited all the nuclear power stations in Britain, the EDF Energy ones, throughout the years. Had to apply for the visiting. Anybody could do it, so long as they checked through the security. You'd have obviously forms of ID. In my case it was a passport, and give the security services 2 weeks to obviously check who's coming into the site. As you can imagine, the nuclear power station is very heavily secured, armed police and all sorts of other heavily secured measures, and it's very strict. You've got to abide by all the rules. You can't just wander off, and you're not allowed to take photos or videos, and they search you and use a metal detector as well. But when you finally get through that and you're issued with PPE, personal protection equipment, then you've got to follow the guide, and it's very interesting, very interesting. So I've done all 8 of them, travelled all along Britain, and I went back to Turness Nuclear Power Station just on the east coast of Scotland, between Edinburgh and Berwick, just last year. I revisited it. So yeah, I kind of drew stuff like that as well when I was always fascinated in that sort of stuff. Still am, still want to learn about it. But yeah, coming out here in the wilderness, or in the open like this, gets a chance to refresh my mind and just get the fresh air and think things through. It's good. It's good for you, mentally and physically. So, nice stuff. Turn this round. There we go. So the Dundee-based Caledonian Hill Walking Club, we have our hikes every third Sunday of the month, except December, where it's the second Sunday. That's the Christmas lunch one. The pickups are 8 o'clock in the morning, apart from the June and August one. They are 8 o'clock. They are 7 o'clock in the morning, because it's longer days. We're always looking for members, so you're more than welcome to come along as a guest as well. You could come along as a guest if you want to try us out. It's the Dundee-based Caledonian Hill Walking Club. They have their own website. Oops. So yeah, if you're interested, you want to do hill walking and see Scotland, parts of Scotland, then you're more than welcome to join us. But you just got to make sure you got all the proper equipment, the gear, footwear and all the rest of it. All the details are on their website. They're on Facebook as well. So if you want to come along and go for a hike with us, then it's £25 a meeting. I think that's for members or up for guests. It's 25 quid. It's on the website. But I mean, today I had to pay the membership. It's £10 plus the meat fee. It's going up, so 25 quid. So it was only like a one-off for 35, but that's including the tenner. And then thereafter, that's 25 quid. And that includes the bus, obviously. That includes your bus fare, the pick-up points. All that's on the website. So the coach takes us to the place where we're going hiking. It's either a through walk where the coach will meet us at the end of the hike, or it's a circular walk where we return back to where we started. You can clock up to as much as 10 to 20 miles. There's 3 levels. It's usually an easy level, which is a shorter one, a low level. You've got a medium one, which is normally the one I go on. Then you've got a super fast fit one, which is, as the name implies, you're super fast. So not many are on that. But so yeah, so if you do want to join, if you're in this sort of Angus area and Dundee area and you want to go hill walking with us, then it'd be good, because we're always wanting new people to join. So I'll just sort of going through this area. Looks like a kind of pebble beach area up ahead. Yeah, so we're walking along this bit now, which is a bit of a variety of walks. A wee bit of sand walking and a lot of pebbles. Looks like there's an old ruin up ahead as well. I don't know how well that came out, but anyway. So normally we go to places within like a 1 to 2 hour radius of Dundee. That's usually how far out we go, because obviously we've got to watch for the bus driver's hours, his coaching hours. So it's limited. We go on a hike, come back the same day. Oh, right. So yeah, so it's within a radius of about 2 hours of Dundee, 2 hour drive. I'm just going to show you this as well before I go over here. So like I was saying, you could go and just stick Caledonian Hill Walking Club on Google and it'll come up with their website. Or if you're on Facebook, just stick the name in. You visit their website, you get all the details on there. All the meet fees, arrangements and all that kind of stuff. Email addresses to the committee to, if you want to come along on one of our hikes. As I say, you just drive to you just get yourself to the pickup points in Dundee, notably City Road's one of them. That's where I get picked up. Well, a lot of us get picked up there. But again, it can be done through arrangement. You could arrange, there's arrangements you can make to get picked up. So, yeah, it'd be nice to be more than welcome to come along on one of our hikes. and see parts of Scotland. As I say, the club's well established. It's been going since 1961. The guides and that have never got lost or anything. We've always got successful hikes, well experienced. So yeah, safe hands, you know. And it's good to go to places where you probably, or you may not normally go on your own. That's why I come, because I wouldn't go to all these mountains and mountain tops on my own without being with an established club. So it's an opportunity when you could come to places like this as well. So there's the waves crashing off the pebbles. The pebbles act as a natural absorber because they're, you know, the air between the pebbles acts as a cushion for the waves. It's basically a wave break. It's good at absorbing the waves. As opposed to the cliff rock walls where they'll just smash off the walls, and it's very smart. It's I quite like it. I like watching the waves, the sheer force battering off the cliffs and that. It's yeah, quite a smart sight. But you won't really get that so much here, as I say, because of the pebbles act as a natural breakwater. It's because the air between them, you know, basically acts as a sponge, breaks the kinetic energy up with the waves and just dissipates the waves basically, rather than the solid surface where they'll smash off them and, you know, ricochet off. But the pebbles absorb it, so it's ideal for a breakwater. So like I was saying earlier, all this waves with no wind. There's no wind at all. No wind at all here. So I remember when I was a kid back in the 80s and that, before they put the wind defences up, the water defences up at the River Tay. When it was a windy day, unlike today, the waves would smash off the River Tay walls. I remember my dad used to take us down there. You know, I used to love it. I used to time it so you could just run away before the waves came in and hit the wall. Sometimes you get soaked. But the sound and the energy of the force, it's brilliant, eh? Adrenaline, nature's you know, force, you know, the sheer volume of water and the weight behind it as well. You know, a metre squared of water weighs at 1 metric tonne. So you can imagine all the tons of water with the velocity and the energy behind it, just smashing into the waves, you know, the roar of it and the, oh, brilliant. But yeah, I remember doing that. But it was windy. That's why I find it strange today, because there's no wind at all. It's really quite windy. It's really quite wavy. There's a lot of heavy waves. No wind, no land wind. Yeah, the River Tay, it was the banks of the River Tay, basically the banks, the walls along the side of the River Tay, on the Dundee side, the Riverside Drive. I was just thinking back to that. But anyway, this is ruin, or what's left of this cottage. So I'm just going to have a wee peek over the other side. And as we pass this, we're coming up to some sort of static caravan park area just up ahead there. I think we're walking by it or through it. So that may be Inverbervie in the distance. So I'll just walk over that wee footbridge here and then continue along by the side of the caravan park. So So we're not actually going into the caravan park, we're just walking along the outside peripheral. Oh, that was a big wave of that. If the rocks weren't there, the breakwater rocks, it'd have been soaked. So that's a mighty wave that came in there. So the position these rocks in a strategic position to break the waves effectively. Big heavy boulders, that's here to protect the caravan site, I presume. All this breakwater and pebbles here to soak up the water so these waves don't come eroding in and crashing into the caravan and flood the park out. So, no, I think I might be getting a bit of a soak in here. I better time this correctly. Now this is wet wood, so I'm going to film myself getting soaked, right? Guarantee it. Bloody, oh yeah, bugger, that was close. Oh, I had the waves just smashing in there, splashing on it behind me. I think I just made that before I get soaked. Right, I'm going to have to put the camera away and catch up. This is rather tricky underfoot as well, by the way. I don't want to be following a twist man up here. The estimated mileage for this hike is about 12-13 miles from start to finish. Just outside Montrose to Inverbervie, coastal walk that we've done. It's going to rack up about 12-13 miles. Big JCB. I started to say JCB, it's not the maker of it, but Das Dusen. Wee picture of that as well. Right, let's catch up now. And just another wee bridge got to go over. Part of the coastal walk, coastal route walk. This is a concrete one this time. A bit more sturdier and easier to walk on, not so slippy compared to that wooden one that I walked across, the one before this. Some sort of plants there, unusual, not sure what they are, but maybe some form of hogweed or something, I'm not sure. I'm not going to touch them anyway because it doesn't look too, it's quite sharp, you don't want to mess with them, so I'll just keep it away from them. And hogweed you certainly don't want to touch because there's acid in them, acidic, and it will burn your skin. But the hogweed here is all, it's all dead at the moment, but come the season it will probably sprout up quite high, I guess. But these plants up there, I'm not sure what they are, some derivative of it maybe, but I don't fancy touching it, so keep away from them if you're not sure. Some kind of oil tanker maybe, or a ship or something out there in the sea. So that wasn't Inverbervie, that was John Haven. John Haven, so I thought that was Inverbervie, but it's no, it's John Haven. But just check the waves out, how heavy they are, how strong they are, and there's no wind. quite a lot of froth as well, I'm noticing here. Yeah, just noticing that. Well, I'm just logging this in as well, actually. So with all the mist, froth and everything due to the waves battering off the pebbles, it's a lot of froth generated. And I've also noticed this in puddles in the city as well, on the roads, the roadside, well even on the roads when traffic go through it, you get a lot of froth building up there, a lot of froth showing through, and I've actually logged this in over the last few years. So but it's just something anyway I'm noticing, as I say, I've noticed it in puddles in the city as well. You know, the traffic goes through the puddles on a wet road, or even when you walk through it. So it's just highlighted on the roads. I mean, whatever it is, it could be everywhere, but it's just more highlighted when the water is disturbed and frothed up. It produces a lot more froth than it used to, let's put it like that, because I've noticed it before. I wouldn't be, noticing it otherwise. So. But yeah, it's just an observation that I've made, that I've actually noticed. It's things that I just picked up through the years, the recent years. But yeah, it does look spectacular. So this kind of like emphasises just how unsettled the water is. And you can see the mist coming off from the actual seawater. You got all the froth generated. It seems quite concentrated actually. It seems to be a lot of froth. I've never really saw quite as much like this before. Absolutely no wind at all whatsoever. I mean, okay, it might be the thought of wind being out there, but even still, you would think by the distance it would have, the waves would have been dissipated. It's almost like micro weathers, and it never used to be like this. I mean, it's an observation that I've made anyway, that I've noticed. So yeah, it's just something that that I've noticed. It's worth just pointing that out. So I believe we're coming into John Haven. So I was just going through John Haven. I smell the smoke-filled chimneys as well. So we're going to have our lunch break here on these benches. So I'll just continue along the path. Coming into view is a place called Gourdon. We'll be going through that on route to Inverbervie. So we're just coming into Gourdon, seaside village of Gourdon. Well, it's a small town, I suppose. So a lovely seaside town of Gourdon we're just coming into. It's a lovely chip shop just in the centre there, chip restaurant. There's lovely fish and chips. I've been there before. So smell that smoke from the chimneys as well as you come in these seaside villages and towns. So I've done a video on my channel earlier about Gourdon. I drove here probably a good couple of years ago. Two or 3 years ago. I've been here since, like, yeah. Chipper's just over there. We've got the Harbour Bar to the right of that, the Chipper Soak restaurant. It's just at the other side. So Chipper's just in there basically, the restaurant's at the other side of that. So it's called the Quayside Fish and Chip Shop. So it's a lovely chipper that. I've been to that one before. And you've got the restaurant bit upstairs as well. Obviously they do takeaways as well, like, but you could sit in the restaurant. Lovely. So we've actually decided we're going to make this the finishing point for the hill walk, or the hike, for this month, February 2026. Originally we were going to go to Inverbervie, but it's only maybe a mile or so up the road a bit. But we're deciding that this is where we're going to, where the walk's going to basically conclude. It's going to end here, so I'm going to end the video here as well, just to round it off. So I think I'm dying to get into the bar actually. So, but no, some of them were just wanting to basically just get picked up here by the bus, so they phoned the bus to come here to pick us up. So we're just going to go into the pub over, and there's a chipper there as well. So anyway, that's it. That's probably done about, I don't know, 11 miles, we'll say. Call it 11 mile. Sure feels like it. So, right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. See what else I put on my channel, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.